Most of the people I hang around with are stoners.
I'd say a lot of the 60s, I'd say it's better this way.
Look, what's that in his hand?
It's not on television, is it?
Get rid of the bastards.
And now it's all cracked now, you know what I mean?
I didn't do it like when I was 10 or anything like that.
Little crackhead friends.
Then they say curiosity kills a cat, so you know.
Oh my God.
Talk load of rubbish, those people. They're in a world of their own.
Some crazy shit, man.
Just about to buy some now.
But no, that's not right actually.
It's the 60s, what
I wasn't interested in it. I like stamp collecting.
I want to get high, so high. I want to get high, so high. I want to get high, so high. I want to get high.
London. It's a wonderful town. Compact of 7 million people into a 20-mile radius. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but generally everybody seems to have an okay lifestyle. That's provided if you have the money to spend, that is. If you're like myself and do not have the cash to spend, you could find yourself not living the high life, but living the street life. So if you're broke or a student or underage, there's not a lot for you to do on a Friday, Saturday night if you haven't got the cash. You could probably find yourself sitting on a couch bored out of your brain, or you could buy some cheap illegal drugs and get absolutely wasted. Cocaine, ecstasy, pills, LSD, whatever it is, you can get it in London. But the question is, at what cost?
What the fuck you just say, nigga? Man, I said I suck your dick. Come on, man.
But you don't want that drama, so I've decided to research my documentary on cannabis sativa.
You don't smoke weed, do you?
This is who I'd like to call the secret smoker. He doesn't want you to know that he smokes, but at this moment his eyes are watering up and there's a lump at the back of his throat. He needs to act fast, to blink, swallow, and then quickly respond.
Come on, Mary Jane, I mean...
Swallow again.
Do I look like somebody that would smoke marijuana?
Perfect.
Yes, I have, and I do.
Yeah.
Not at all. I used to.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
She don't use any drugs, so... But I try, I do. Yes.
Yep, I have. Yep.
Yes.
No.
Oh, it was a long time ago. I was born in Liverpool, so I had a few little... That was a crazy place, Liverpool, you know what I mean?
Excuses or not, 95% of the people I've interviewed have admitted to smoking cannabis once in the past 4 weeks and intend to continue smoking. I asked them why they enjoy it so much.
Why do I smoke it? Honestly, it chills me out. Because I don't drink, you know, I'm a vegan, so I'm healthy in every other way.
Well, my ex-boyfriend was a drug dealer, so I was kind of around it a lot, but not so much now. Just occasionally, sometimes, just relaxing, sort of.
And also because it's so available, you know, everyone we know smokes it.
A nice relaxing sort of thing after a hard day at work. You know, you just want to sit back and relax, watch TV, so you just have a bit of a joint and just relaxes your whole body, makes you relax, don't have to worry about anything as such, and it just cools you out.
Why do we smoke? Well, that's a good question. It's the feeling, the sensation when you smoke that you start to laugh and you're with your friends and you gather and you start to say a lot of stupid things. I don't know, it's kind of funny.
Because it gets you buzzing, and then like when you're buzzing, it's like things happen to you. You feel great, it feels nice, and it gets you a big buzz, and that's why.
Hell, back in the 60s, we was smoking shit on the street. Cops didn't say nothing. Hell, he's getting high too. Everybody was doing it. Oh, it wasn't a thing to do because it was a thing to do, you know. It was a thing to do because it got you high. Can you dig it?
They always say that everybody says, oh, you know the reason why you started drugs. You know what the problem was, but at the end of the day, you don't.
It is a good point. How can you tell if you have a drug problem? Is it when you start tripping over yourself? As you can see, this gentleman may have smoked a little bit too much in his time. How much are people smoking?
Probably on average a couple of times a year, something like that, you know, like when I go to like a festival or something like that.
Once a week? No, yeah, once a week.
Not often, only occasionally. Every day.
But now I smoke it more than 2 times a year.
All the time.
I had one day where I smoked it about 5 times. But roughly about 2-3 times a week.
Maybe once, twice a day.
England have been using hemp for centuries. At the beginning of the 19th century, they were using it for ropes and sails on ships. 90% of this hemp was imported from Italy and Russia, which helped in 1883 when Britain organised the blockade against France. In the early 19th century, smoking became fashionable due to the Eastern culture. Even Queen Victoria smoked hashish to alleviate period pain. And in 1992, the British media had confirmed and announced the first hemp harvest in 70 years. By Joe.
Drugs really became big in the 1970s. That's when drugs in this country took off. That's when there suddenly was a lot of it around, and that's when the criminals got into the trade. You know, when I first started, the people who would be bringing cannabis in the country would be hippies with a rucksack on their back, who'd gone over to Morocco, you know, and come back on the ferry across through Spain. You know, it was a cottage industry. The dealer would come round the house and go, you know, I'll roll one up for you, man, sample the wares, smoke one with you, you buy a bit, and then they'd go off to someone else's house, you know, and give them a sample. It was, you know, it was your civic duty to turn everyone on in those days. That was the way it was looked at.
Cannabis sativa is known as the plant with two faces, one being male, one being female. I wish to find out some information on how to grow this wonderful plant that has so many uses.
Yeah, know a little bit about it. Yeah, how to grow it.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it depends how you grow it. Like you can use different products to make it grow differently, to make it taste differently. It takes about 3 months to grow. Get it in summer. Yeah, and then you dry it out and smoke it.
What about the sexes?
Male and female. Male's the ones with seeds, and females are the ones the good ones, I suppose.
Oh, is it? So the girl's the best, isn't it?
The female plant is used for smoking, whereas the male plant is used for hemp and fibre materials. Jane Burns, a reformed addict, shed some light on how to grow it.
Right, you get a seed, put it in a pot. It'll get to that, you give it plenty of daylight. It goes 3 prongs, 5 prongs, 7 prongs. You can get up to 9 prongs. If you want to make it really powerful, you cut it down once it gets to 7 and 9, put it in a black plastic sack, hang it up in the dark, leave it to rot until the stems get breakable. You tear it open and leave them to dry in the sun. Right, that's what I know about it.
With tobacco together.
I did without. With buckets, you know what bucket is? Yeah, buckets, bongs, everything. Yeah, I didn't like it with tobacco. It tastes a bit of shit.
No, with tobacco, we mix.
A friend of mine doesn't smoke it at all. Doesn't smoke tobacco at all because he thinks it's evil. Yet smoked weed in bongs all the time.
Without, sure.
Yeah, without, always without, never will.
Why not?
Point. You have to do it again.
Then you have to start smoking, making cigarettes, so I'll just stick to weed.
What'd you put in this vase?
Marijuana is terrible. It's a gateway drug. And everybody knows that it leads to other stuff.
Yeah, mostly junk food.
Definitely. I mean, all the things that people tend to use at the moment is something that after a while they wouldn't feel what they felt initially. I mean, they would get used to it, and after a while they want to try something stronger.
No. It could lead to other drugs, but not with me.
Because it's different, like you got cocaine, you sniff it, cannabis, you smoke it. It's completely different, like high you get from the drug, both different drugs. Why is that going to lead you onto cocaine? I don't think it would.
Yeah,
well,
I do.
No, not really. People say they do, but...
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they do. I've heard a lot. My friends have gone on to stronger stuff.
I think it is totally dependent on your personality.
Not really.
No,
not really. But people say it, but I don't think so.
I ain't tried nothing else.
I wouldn't try nothing else, and I smoke cannabis myself, so I don't believe it.
It's all personal choice, so some people think that it is, and some people think it isn't. I don't think it is personally anyway. It's up to the person if they choose it or not.
It might, yeah. I think, you know, if I would try this, I would think, why not to try something else? I don't want to get like addicted to it, but why not try? So yeah, it might be.
I used to deny this and deny this and deny this because, you know, it was my favourite drug for so many years and I just wouldn't have it. But in reality, my first contact with a dealer was through cannabis. My first contact with someone who could sell me speed was someone who was selling me cannabis. My first contact with someone who could sell me coke, who could sell me heroin, was through someone who could sell me cannabis. So what it does is it opens a door, you know, and some people walk through that door, most don't, but you know, sufficient do. So it's a gateway in that respect.
But when they say once an addict or an addict, I spent 10 years denying that. 5 rehabs. Tried everything, did everything, and I'm only now admitting it because I got to the point where I wasn't going to survive. And that's what happened to me, you know. It's taken that to actually realise that it's true that one does go to the other.
You've probably caught on by now that there are two sides to smoking cannabis, the benefits of getting high and also the downfall. With every drug, there is a come down. So what are the negative effects?
Paranoia. In the long term, yeah.
I tried it, what, a few weeks back, yeah, because I stopped it and then I started again. But it gave me so much bad paranoia, I had to stop again.
That it gives men breasts. You get man boobs, yeah.
What does it do? It messes up your brain cells.
Fries your brain cells, it makes you not as good as you think it would be. But it's nice, but afterwards you feel the effects and then you don't want to do it again, but you end up doing it again.
It causes serious mental health problems if people smoke it for a very long time, hence my ex-boyfriend.
Some people get schizophrenia. I know a girl who's a bit mad because of it.
It totally ruined our relationship, in fact, because he was just incapable of doing anything, of thinking of anything, of being proactive.
Dry mouth. Yeah, dry mouth, red eyes. It mellows you out, like, so you're not as hyped, you're quiet.
Not me, I laugh bare.
Tiredness.
Hungry. Get hungry heaps.
That's not negative though.
Yeah, eat too much food.
Negative effects.
Well, I believe it can drive some people into a psychotic state or something.
It was just stinking so much that I had headache from the smell, basically.
No, but it just made me eat a lot, sleep a lot, and maybe a bit paranoid, you know.
Don't know really, but I've never had any myself. Sometimes it's a little bit more expensive than other places, but I'm sure there are, but I've never experienced any myself.
No, I think it just takes away people's ambition to some sort.
I'm 71. If they ever lived as long as that, they might find bad effects catch up with them in their old age.
Baseline for me is the younger you start, the more likely you are to get protracted problems later on. And actually, if you're looking at cannabis, I mean, look at how long the damn stuff stays in your system and look at the effects. What's going to happen to if you start smoking joints at 11, what's going to happen to your education? You know, you can't think exactly wonderfully clearly. You know, you sit at the back of the geography lesson and you're thinking, oh wow, you know, look at them clouds. You know, I mean, you ain't learning anything.
Jane Burns is a remarkable woman who is a former drug user and is now working for The Big Issue. She says the Big Issue saved her life.
People that use drugs tend to use drugs because even though they won't admit it and they will deny it, they are using it to self-medicate. They are using the drugs to hide away from another problem, to deal with another problem in their life.
My own experience of cannabis was, you know, for the first 2 or 3 years, it was giggle dust, you know, sprawling on the floor. You know, a few years later, it was like, I can't be bothered moving out of this damn armchair to do a sudden thing, and I couldn't find the funny side of it anymore. You know?
Obviously, there's some negative effects to smoking cannabis, but medically it does have its benefits. Should we be using it for medicine?
It's the same. I mean, it's like you get over-the-counter painkillers with codeine in it. It's a brilliant painkiller, but you're always going to get addicts that abuse codeine. Yeah? Same thing with cannabis. It's a brilliant painkiller.
And it's good for arthritis too.
But because it is there to be abused, the people who will abuse it is going to be abused.
Most of these things started as medicines, either officially or unofficially. Heroin was a medicine. Cocaine was a medicine. You know, cannabis traditionally, herbally, has been used as a medicine. They have beneficial effects. We shouldn't deny ourselves those beneficial effects. If that means changes in the law, then we have to think about what those changes in the law would be.
I do miss my dad, but He deserves to be where he is. Drug dealers belong in jail.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. Yeah. How long have you been in there?
4 years next month.
4 years. And what exactly was he selling?
Marijuana.
4 years just for weed? Damn!
I've never seen the benefit of locking anyone up for being a drug user because, one, you know, they get more of it in prison than they do outside, and two, you know, being locked away from something never really stops you. If you don't deal with the issues that lead you into drug use in the first place, nothing changes.
Because I've got a partner in prison regularly, at least every year I've been with him. That's what's going on in there. You know, it's available, it is abused, it's extorted. You can't stop it getting in because it's there. Someone is always going to find a way of getting it in. So why put somebody who has a problem on drugs in a place where that's all they can look forward to?
Colin Cripps is a Deputy Chief Officer for Involve based in East London. Colin's been an outspoken champion for young people services since 1987. He's on the drug users' side. He used to be one, but nowadays he trains social workers, prohibition officers, doctors, nurses and many other professionals about dealing with drug users and how people can help. He talks to us about Involve.
What we're doing is we're a dying business in one sense, you know, because we work with young people around drugs issues on the basis of consent. So we tell them the truth, and those that need help, we try and make that help accessible to them on their own terms. What we've done with treatment is said, well, actually, let's not sell everything as negatives. Come in here, tell us about your problems, you know.
It was a typical teenage thing. Oh, I've heard it all before, blah, blah, blah. Don't want to know, you're just feeding me all this bump, you know.
Basic Marshall McLuhan stuff. Teacher walks in, says this, kid goes, not listening. You know, you're old, you don't know jack shit about it, you don't live on the street where I am, and because you're a teacher, we know what you're trying to do, which is to get us to stop doing this. So our attitude is, well, how can we engage with young people around this? Let's make it a positive experience. Let's build on where they want to go in life. Let's engage with them in the terms that they know. Music, you know. So we've got recording studio. And all of our services have got, you know, computer music programs going. Any way that you can get young people involved in something positive. And as part of that process, then you get into questioning their drug use and whatever. So, you know, it's about moving young people forward, not seeing young people always as a problem, not seeing young people as the problem in society. It's about seeing, you know, positive things that young people can do, and finding at least some positive ways of channeling the energy that goes into drug use.
All I've done is I'm now nearly 40 and I've wasted about part of 20 years of my life. Well, 15 years of my life, of which I can't remember the majority of it. Using drugs, keeping a habit day in, day out, waking up every morning of my life for at least 10 or 15 years, needing to make a tenner. And it's not life. You know what I mean? I've slept on streets, I've slept in bin rooms. I've got myself clean, and then once I'm clean, I'm not happy, I want to be back on the drugs, and I'm on the drugs, I want to be clean. It's just a total contradiction. Or the drugs just screwed my life up. Totally screwed my life up. And I wish I'd never tried them. Honestly. And I've lost my family because of it, including my chance to have children. And that's it.
Alcohol, tobacco, illegal drugs, there's no consistency. I'm not sure whether there ever can be. To me, the real issue is let's not put people in prison over it, let's give people treatment when they need it, and let's tell people the truth about it. And if we genuinely want to get rid of drugs in this world, then that just requires a completely different take by some very, very powerful people, and we could make some genuine steps towards it. But let's not put that responsibility for getting rid of all of that back on the user, not back on the victim at the end of it, and not back on the poor little sod who's growing stuff on a hill farm for a few pence a day. Let's not blame the people who are abused at either ends of this supply chain. That's where the real changes need to happen.
I've met some wonderful people through this documentary, from all different ages and races. That's one thing I love about London. But every day I do see victims that are struggling with problems they now no longer can control. The purpose for this documentary is not to glorify drugs, nor is it to be against drugs. That's for you to decide. Just know, whatever you choose, there are always real people that are willing to help.